Several people live to be 100 years old, and they have great lives, and they have great kids. Their kids go to college and all sorts of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route, and they had a good life that way, but the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it, but a lot of us die never truly starting our journey.
I don't know what to do. It's like, that's okay. Nobody does. Go do something. Do the best thing that you can think of. Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect, and it will change along the way, but it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans.
You ever had a gut feeling that maybe you were meant for more, but you weren't really sure what the next best steps were to achieve it? Me too. So what's your more? What's your destination? And I'm not talking about just more money or more things. I'm also talking about more love, more joy, more choice, more balance, more trust. What's your more?
Seneca famously said that the mind focused on future events is miserable. I see so many people focusing on the things that they cannot control. They want to make $1 million, but obviously you can't dictate the specific day that you're going to become a millionaire. They want to develop a better physique, but you can't specifically dictate the day where you'll be proud of the body that you have if you're overweight or if you're too skinny. You need to understand that you can't be focused on the future. What you need to be focused is on the present moment. What you can control today, the habits that you input today, the amount of work ethic and good attitude that you portray today. These are the things that matter. The Stoics used to speak about these things because it is so easy to either reminisce in the past or to be conjuring imaginary scenarios of the future, oftentimes negative, that lead a present moment of stress and a state of being miserable. So if you want to be in a life that is full of equanimity. Equanimity means the calmness of the soul, and a life that is full of peace. You need to be here now, focusing on what you can control. If you want to make more money, perfect. Clock in. If you want to become more financially literate, you're going to have to pick up the books and get educated. If you want a better physique, you're going to have to eat healthier food, and you're going to have to exercise. Not focused on the future, but focused on what you can do today. And by natural law, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The universe will give you exactly what you deserve. Don't live a life of misery by living in the past or living in the future, but live a life of peace and equanimity by being here right now.
It's all in your mind. Whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life. If you continue to believe as you have always believed, you will continue to act as you have always acted. You will continue to get what you have always gotten. If you want different results in your life or your work, all you have to do is change your mind.
You can't just go through life just showing up, eating, sleeping, and going to sleep. You're going to get depressed. Like your organism, the human organism, needs problem solving. It needs complex problems. It needs stress. It needs some sort of difficult thing that you have to overcome. And through that, you relax. You can't just have happiness all day.
If you got some shoes, you can go walk. You can go run. As far as the gym you can't find, do you have a floor where you live? Do some fucking push-ups. Do some sit-ups. We're waiting to find purpose. We're waiting to find why. We're waiting to find all this shit before we start. The thing about it is this. Start now. So when you find your purpose, you find your why, you can get after it. Stay hard.
It would line up to be perfect for them. And because they're waiting for this and because it's never coming, they never go. And when they never go, they never become anything. And that's what leads to a wasted life. So you have to realize conditions are never going to be perfect. Things are always going to be hard.
Welcome to the first day of your new life. A life where you decide every moment of every day to better yourself. To make those uncomfortable choices to get you where you want to be.
We all have these feelings in our bodies, in our minds, in our souls. I act on mine. A lot of us who are afraid of something we allow our minds to choose the path of least resistance, so we go a different route. And I'm afraid of something that's telling me you must conquer that. You must do that.
Yeah.
You have to go that way. And most of us don't understand that mentality.
You need discipline. You need personal discipline. There's times when you don't feel like doing what needs to be done to get this. But you got to say, feelings has nothing to do with it. This is my dream. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do the things that I don't feel like doing. I'm going to do the things I don't want to do. I'm going to do the things that don't come easy to me, that do not come natural to me. I'm going to get up and do it. You can't live your life on feelings. You cannot let your feelings dictate what you are or are not going to do.
There's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain, and your brain is talking to you in all kind of ways, and it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're fucked. You got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over.
Life isn't a constant party. Life is a battle. A relentless struggle against mediocrity and excuses. Want to know the secret ingredient that separates winners from dreamers? It's discipline. Discipline isn't pretty or elegant. It isn't a luxurious spa where you relax and feel good about yourself. Discipline is a trench where you face your inner demons, where you decide if you control your destiny or let life dominate you. How many times have you looked in the mirror and told yourself you could do more? How many times have you let the chance to change your life slip by because you felt comfortable in your safety zone? It's time to break those mental shackles and unleash your inner beast.
Embrace the pain. Pain is good for you. It's great for you. This is no fun, but when you finish and you've gone through weeks and months, you feel the value that you get is much greater than the pain. That pain, that resistance is good for you.
And then the next day comes and you're back playing again, and you understand that life has this cyclical nature where it's, what you do on Monday, it's fantastic, but then Tuesday is a bad day. But guess what? There's Wednesday. Yeah. So are we just supposed to live our lives like this the whole time? Versus just staying like this and understanding that it's really just a journey of evolution every day. It's just constant improvement, constant curiosity, constantly getting better. The results don't really matter. It's the figuring out that matters.
Yeah. And we all get obsessed about the results. Like, we get obsessed about the output, not the input, of not figuring it out and not changing things. What you said, trial and error, the experimenting.
If you turn around and you confront the suffering voluntarily, you find out that you are way tougher than you think. It's not that life is better than you think. Life is as harsh as you think. It might even be worse, but you are way tougher than you think if you turn around and confront it. And so then what you discover is that there's a spirit within you that can pursue something meaningful, that has the resilience and the strength to contend properly with the catastrophe of existence without becoming bitter.
It's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. It's always one brick. I believe, and I learned very young, that you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day, and soon you have a wall.
We all want to read about how we can quickly get somewhere. That's why the 6-minute abs and all sorts are so powerful. You may get some results from it, but they're not permanent.
The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something. That's why I always say to people, what's more important, what we acquire or who we become?
Tell me one thing in your life that is great that came as a result of being comfortable? Because everywhere I look and everywhere I see in today's society, everybody's doing everything they can to be more comfortable, right? They're looking for the more convenience. They're looking for the quicker. They're looking for the faster. All the great things in my life, all the great things in other high achievers' lives, all the reasons that these successful people that you look up to, that you aspire to be like, are the way they are, have all come from a place of being uncomfortable. Okay, so understand that when you're trying to avoid the pain, when you're trying to avoid the struggle, when you're trying to avoid the hard things in life, you are actively choosing to be average. You are actively choosing to be mediocre. And you are actively choosing to move further away from what you want in life. Because that hardship and that pain and that struggle and that frustration, they give you the skills that will forge you into a champion.
But I didn't get here doing everything that I love. I did a load of shit I hate. And I did it for a very long period of time. And I did not have anyone to root me on. And in fact, I had many people who were actively trying to destroy my path and tell me why it was a terrible idea.
The amount of suffering that you understand, the amount of pain that you've gone through makes you appreciate the happiness and the beautiful moments with much more intensity.
And you see this guy just fighting. I love the fucking guy who just fucking fights. And so I put these things in as reminders that you're going to have to fucking suffer, man. Man, you're going to have to fucking suffer to go from this fat, insecure motherfucker to one of the best guys on the planet Earth. This journey is going to take something that is going to be incomprehensible to most people.
How can I deal with the fact that this is painful for me? And the answer is, the fact that it is painful is the reason that it's working. Yeah. That if it wasn't you stepping out, everybody else that has to try and step out into this new life faces this same thing too. Mm-hmm. Every single person does. That's why most people don't do it. Yeah. Like, this is what hard feels like, and this is why most people don't win. Mm-hmm. So continuing to push through and almost seeing that level of discomfort as a signal, it's like a way marker that's been planted in the ground. Yes, more this way. Mm-hmm. Because if it was all just super easy, well, how are you going to get anything different to what everybody else has got if you do the same thing that everybody else does? Yeah. And one of the best selectors for people not doing a thing is discomfort. So the route that has a lot of discomfort down it, usually on the other side of that, ends up with something which is valuable.
It's hard to get. Life isn't fair. It's not fair. Mm-hmm. And you better figure out some tools and some ways to stop feeling sorry for yourself, because no one is coming to rescue you. No one feels sorry for you.
There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. Mm-hmm. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day. Mm-hmm.
If you want to do something that most people can't do, literally just extend the time horizon on the things that most people can't weather. Like, there's so much opportunity on the other side of being willing to persist for an extended period of time on the correct path without getting positive reinforcement from your environment. And the longer you can stick with something without that positive feedback loop in terms of the big external thing, the easier the opportunities are, because so few people can pursue them.
I've never really viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working.
What do you think is the biggest stumbling block that most people face with this kind of journey?
Honestly, is they have the woe is me mentality. It's too hard. Life isn't fair. These things in life are not easy for me. You look to your left and you look to your right and you start to judge yourself off other people. Like, if you're a female, well, she's skinny and she doesn't work out as hard as I do. And everything starts to corrupt your mind. You start to look around too much at other people and what they're doing, and that starts to corrupt your own dialogue. We are judging ourselves against too many people. You have to judge yourself against yourself. And that's the one thing I started learning, man. This is a race against David Goggins and David Goggins alone. And once you can silence all that bullshit, all the outside interference and things that are attracting your mind to everything, you can then start to grow in realizing I'm stressed out for no reason. This is my own little race. This is my own timeline, and this is how I'm going to run.
Because when nobody's looking, that's the time that really counts. That's the time that really matters. The working out at 5, 6 a.m. and then all the practices and all the extra conditioning, like that work that you do every single day is key, because that's what you're going to be able to fall back on. And that's what you're going to be able to like rely on when push comes to shove.
Do the thing that your heart is asking you to do, regardless of the external circumstance. You just fucking do it. And the reason why I say that is not because of what you might get by taking action in the direction of your dreams, because the goal, the prize on the other end of it, is not nearly as powerful as who you become when you do the damn thing. So what I want to invite you to do, what I want you to consider, is that every single time you go and do something hard, a lot of people, their excuses are, it's easier said than done. It's too hard, right? This is really basically what your story is. That's the story you've told yourself, that it's easier said than done. You know, it's kind of hard to do that. Well, it's supposed to be hard. Look, if growing stronger and building muscle were easy, there would be no growth if there was no challenge. And that's my invitation to you, is to realize that it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be difficult. If it wasn't difficult, there would be no resistance. There'd be nothing to force you to grow stronger with. And that's why I say the most important reason, the most important thing, the most important gift that you receive by taking action in the direction of your dreams is not attaining your dream. It's you growing stronger and becoming a stronger version of yourself through the challenges, through the resistance, and because it's hard.
Hustle is putting it all on the line. Hustle is waking up one day, the day before you die, and realizing you gave it your all into the parenting of your children, the building of your businesses, the philanthropy that you wanted to do. Whatever you define, it's just, you know, all in.
If there's potential inside of you, which you know it's there, but you're too scared to tell anyone else about it, and you go on and on, get older and older and older and older, and the windows of opportunity start to close, and you knew it could have been given birth to, but you never did it, I promise you, it will haunt you. It'll be more, it's a living nightmare, dude. That fact that you had the ability to do something and you're too weak to turn the key and start the engine on it is a greater disappointment and a greater burden to carry than any of this physical sweat equity or pain in the gym or sacrifice. All that is just nothing compared to a life where you're burdened by regret, guys.
You got 24 hours in a day. 8 hours you sleep, right? And most people work a 9 to 5. So 8 hours you're working. 16 hours. Okay, so we had 16 hours. We got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we'll be at night, there's 19. It take you an hour to get ready. So we had 20 hours. So you guys cannot spend 4 hours going talking about, oh, they lying, oh, I like this photo. Oh, they faking, sending photos to other people. Y'all got to get focused. I'm where I'm at because I'm focused. Tunnel vision. I'm focused on what I got to do. Y'all got to have a game plan.
It is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their notifications because they can't stick with
You've got to create a lot of different emotion to heighten your sense of awareness and focus. Like for me, anger was good. Anger was good because it was motivating. The more I could create an enemy, the more I wanted to go out and kill those guys.
Out of the 100 men that go into war, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 of them are just targets. 10 do most of, or 9 do most of the fighting. 1 is a warrior.
Accept the pain. Smile at the pain. Embrace the pain. Zbogam. Pain is the gatekeeper of destiny. Pain is there to ask you one simple question. Do you really want to achieve your goals, or are you just a talker?
You want to become best. You want to become champion. And now you want to say like you tired? Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody cares about you.
Wake
yourself. The biggest problem that you have had is not that you don't have resources. It's not that you don't have supporters. It's not that somebody doesn't believe in you. It's that you have not believed in you. Stop sleeping on yourself. Step into your authenticity. Step into your intelligence and your brilliance. Release your gift. God has given you something great. Release it.